For Kripke, descriptivism is false. He has three arguments against the descriptivist theory of names. But before that, let me mention a historical problem with the descriptivist theory of names. For descriptivism, associated descriptions like these ones, these are all associated with the proper name Aristotle or associated with Aristotle. Associated descriptions plays an important semantic role. So the problem is that which one of these associated descriptions will be taken as semantically important, or which combination of these. There are two main answers for, or two traditions, or two answers for this question. The first one is the traditional one, single description view, Frege's own approach. For Frege, the ambiguity here should be avoided in the system of a demonstrative science and should not appear in a perfect language. Like Begriffsschrift, Frege's own perfect language, Begriffsschrift, the logic language, which some of you may remember. So according to this view, only one of these associated descriptions will be used as the semantic value or part of a component of the semantic value of Aristotle. That's one view. That's why it's called the single description. Second one is the cluster theory. You can find the roots of this cluster theory in Wittgenstein's philosophical investigations. In philosophical investigations, Wittgenstein asks this question: what is the meaning of sentences in this form, like Moses did not exist? What does this sentence mean? Does it mean that the man who lived at that time and place was then called Moses did not exist, or the man who led the Israelites through the wilderness did not exist, or the man who as a child was taken out of the Nile by Pharaoh's daughter did not exist? So the overall question is that has the name Moses got a fixed and unequivocal use for me in all possible cases? Wittgenstein's answer is a negative one, but there is a positive answer which we call the cluster theory of names. It is originally introduced by John Searle in his paper Proper Names. Searle asks this question: what are the necessary and sufficient conditions for applying a particular name to a particular object? For example, what are the conditions for saying this is Aristotle? In other words, what are the conditions for using this proper name Aristotle correctly? The answer is that it is a necessary fact that Aristotle has a logical sum, inclusive disjunction of properties commonly attributed to him. So Aristotle, meaning of Aristotle is this logical sum or inclusive disjunction, disjunctive form. So it means that meaning of Aristotle is the author of metaphysics, or the teacher of Alexander the Great, or the smartest pupil of Plato, and so on. So then, as you know from your logic courses, in order this to be true, at least one of them must be true. So then any individual not having at least some of these properties could not be Aristotle. Then the overall question behind all these discussions, or the main question, one of the main questions of this class, is that whether or not proper names are logically connected with characteristics of the object to which they refer. So whether or not there is a logical connection between Aristotle and the characteristics of Aristotle. We know the million answer. According to Mill's theory or any million theory, the answer is no. There is no logical connection between Aristotle and the characteristics of Aristotle, since proper names do not have any connotation. But since Searle is a descriptivist, the answer is yes, but in a loose sort of way. It is because of this cluster theory. There isn't any strict relation between this proper name and any of these characteristics, but there is a loose connection between any of these characteristics. That's the end of this part. Thanks for listening.